Yeah.
And so you think there's a little bit of survivor guilt.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure why it's me still standing.
Well, you've talked to me before. Something I've always found really interesting when we've talked is about how, you lived through polio, you lived through AIDS. Now you find yourself living this long. It's like that's a really interesting, I think
COVID.
about life a lot of time. COVID, I think about life a lot of times as lessons that keep recurring and the way that like symbolically you're going through similar lessons. And it's interesting you have lived through all of those experiences and felt this sort of survivor's guilt.
I mean, I
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
over dramatize that because I mean, these are hard things to talk about because they're so
Yeah.
subjective.
Yeah.
And then some people are saying, God, you're so full of yourself.
Well, no, but
And
I think everyone has no. I don't agree with that because everyone has survivor's guilt in different ways.
I suppose, yeah,
If you come from a certain if you're born into a family, right, and you feel that if you're born 7 feet tall and your brother's born 6'2" and you go to the NBA and your brother doesn't, there's an element at play that's sort of like survivor's guilt to where you were blessed with certain things, and everyone gets blessed with their unique set of cards. And I feel like maybe this is just yours, but I think we all have this natural inclination to feel a little bit guilty when we see the people we love and care about not with the same hand sometimes, and they probably feel the same way about us. It's like in whatever they're doing.
I remember in the 70s or 60s wondering if I would live to see the turn of the century.
Hmm.
Well, did I ever?
You might make it to the next century then.
I've got 25 years on this century
Yeah.
right now, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that never occurred. I mean, my parents died when they were in their 60s,
Yeah.
and they were sort of older then than I am now in an
Sure.
odd way.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think we tire ourselves out. I think we buy into the trope that says it's time for me to stop now,
Yeah.
and I need to be stopped.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
that's
not
why
going. I'm not going to stop.
I tell people this all the time, and people look at me like I'm crazy, but I do it for a reason. I tell people all the time I don't believe in time. And I just decided that, and I know I always tell you this, but it's like the concept of time, I think it's something you build in your mind a little bit. And
A little bit.
everyone knows days happen, right? It's like we all understand that. But I think the way you think about yourself, the way you think about the pace the world moves, all of that's kind of subjective.
There's another thing here that I have to bring in because if you're a gay person
Yeah,
without children, I
right.
mean, children help age you.
Yeah,
So I'm talking to Mike Bosser, who's got this darling little baby boy Benny,
yeah,
and he's a baby boy now, and then he's 17,
yeah,
and then he's 27, and then he's got his own industry, and
yeah,
you're the older person.
yeah,
But if you're by yourself and you don't have any children, you're just sort of free floating out there.
yeah. It is interesting. I've actually started thinking about that a lot. Not just from the child perspective, but I think by not connecting yourself in sort of, I mean, because even the idea of getting married, right? It's like that's sort of a timeline anchor. You know what I mean? It anchors
Yeah,
you to a pace because you're
yeah.
pacing now with someone else. Same thing with a child. It anchors you to a pace that life is going to move. And I think that's why it can get really subjective with how old you may feel or be.
There's also a kind of cassette
Mm,
of how you do it.
right.
You date, you get married, you have children, you get a mortgage, you get another mortgage, you move, you have an affair, that marriage breaks up. I mean,
Right.
it's like this whole thing, and
Yeah.
some people just buy into that.
Right. Did you ever, I don't know, because I think I struggle a lot with the fact that my soul or whatever never bought into it, but sometimes I wanted to. Do you know, like, I've actually had a lot of inner turmoil with the fact that, like, I wanted to belong more to something that felt a little bit more like I wasn't the only one on this island,
Yep.
but something in me kept being like, ah, that's not it, or that's not the spot, or that. Did you feel that way? Was there a time where you were trying to buy into it more?
I don't know how to. I sort of don't know how to answer that. I think. I mean, first of all, because I was abnormal, because growing up as a child in the Eisenhower years and the years that followed, I knew that I was somehow marked, that I
Hmm.
was condemned. I was a misfit. I was probably bad because I was gay.
Oh, because okay,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And I'm not fulfilling my obligation and I'm letting everybody down. I had to go through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody in my generation did.
Yeah.
Now the kids don't think a thing about it. Or if they
Do you think
do,
so?
well, I don't
I,
know that. I'm not a
that
child, so I don't.
it's funny because there's a version I feel like of young people that are gay feeling a version of survivor's guilt when compared to you, right? Because they get to almost stand on your shoulders. You had to go through the process of, I don't want to say normalizing it, but making it more normalized. And so now they get to kind of reap the benefits. And to
That's
me, I
true.
mean, I have a version of survivor's guilt with my parents and my grandparents. You know what I mean? It's like I think we all have versions of that because we see the sacrifices they made to give us even if we didn't always capitalize on the
Yeah.
opportunities,
Yep.
we
Yep.
see the sacrifices they made. I feel that way with you in a lot of ways with the arts when we talk about this. We're always standing on the shoulders of the people that came before us.